Yes, here we go. Welcome to Stone Street Poetry. Small week before the small, calm before the storm. It's an all open mic. We'll do 3 round robins tonight for everybody. And I'm hoping everyone has a good time. And more importantly, I hope everyone comes to the Boston Poetry Marathon online this Saturday. Carol Weston has been confirmed and will be seen via video for the first time ever since this pandemic started. She's been mostly joining by phone, actually, always joining by phone. But this time we'll be able to see her and cheer along, and that's exciting. Given that this is usually a live event, the kind of painful doing it on remotely again, but we had it was the only way to get it done. So I'm looking forward to having everyone together and planning for next year to be in person and in full force. But more importantly, we have an open mic tonight, so we're going to get started. I want to get started with the Generalissimo himself, Mr. Brian Franco.
Right.
Fresh off the heels of his successful 2 readings in New England this past Monday and Tuesday, I should add.
Well, Tuesday was on Zoom, but it was good. And then of course, after that was over, I dropped into Time to Arrive, but I fell asleep before I could get on. So I just I was really wiped out. So I have this piece that's still a work in progress. Pretty long, it's pretty long, but I really want to read it, and still it's unfinished. Why Hallmark wants to feature my former dining room on a greeting card. I was unceremoniously evicted from the slummy, double-wide manufactured outbuilding with warped floors on Gertrude Street in Portland, Maine, that was erected as a mother-in-law house in the 70s. I never had friction with the landlady who rented it to the college-brown granddaughter of a woman she worked with. My lease was up, and she told me she'd rather have a female tenant. I felt like a piece of a certain 4-letter word George Carlin said wasn't allowed to be said on TV. I so badly wanted to call her the C word, but I was raised better than that. She gave me a month to vacate. I found a wartime cape in a neighborhood of wartime capes in Cape Elizabeth. I lived at 28 Farm Hill Road for 3 years until my landlord doubled the rent so he could rent it as an Airbnb. The neighbors were not happy about that. I loved that little cape. It had a plentiful cabinets and counter space in the eat-in kitchen. It had a giant deck where I had an extensive container garden with old wheelbarrows, spaghetti pots, and trash cans as planters. I never thought I'd be a successful gardener, but it came easy, and the elderly woman next door, whose husband verbally and emotionally abused her, became my mentor. She was the first mentor I had ever had. It was a nice neighborhood with nice neighbors. We all shared the excess bounty of our gardens with each other. I was given 2 months to vacate. My next home was an 1870s farmhouse on 301 Small Point Road in Phippsburg, with no visible neighbors. The house came with a resident ghost in the bedroom. She'd appear in the wee hours dressed in black with lace trim, pouring water from a pitcher into a goblet. She never said a word and only appeared as long as it took to pour a goblet of water. I desperately wanted to know her story, but less than a year after I moved in, my landlords, a weird couple from North Carolina, informed me they were selling the house, and I had just under 3 months to vacate. I found another wartime cape in another neighborhood of wartime capes at 28 Merrymeeting Road in Brunswick. In both capes, the bedroom was upstairs from the bathroom, up a narrow, steep staircase, which could be quite the obstacle during a middle-aged man 2:37 a.m. journey to the facilities when you've been prescribed a medication that causes dizziness. This cape also had a separate dining room, which the other did not have. The dining room had a long accent wall that was painted a stark red, sort of like my great Aunt Mildred's lipstick or blood. A friend called the wall the St. Dining Room Days Massacre. I inherited my mother's Danish modern solid walnut dining room furniture, which fit perfectly in the room, along with a folk art collage by a New Orleans artist and brightly colored paintings by a Jamaican artist of women carrying life-size fruits and veggies tied to their heads my parents bought on the side street outside MoMA. Unfortunately, due to the disorienting nature of the blood wall, I never ate a meal in that room. The end.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Generalissimo. We'll get you down for a live show at some point. It's the last thing I do. Let's go now to Mr. Bill Lewis.
Why, thank you, Mr. Chadford. Chadford Parento? Why do I crawl when the others walk tall and proud? Why do I stare at the ground while the others revel in the glorious mountain vistas? Why do I obsess over the roots and rocks that the others just ignore? What kind of hike what is it when you memorize the brand boots of those that are in front of you and not the face of the person wearing them? Do I have the courage to look up and not down? Can I walk and chew gum at the same time? Apparently not. I traded 1 minute of a glorious vista on the trail for a lump on my shin. I think admiring the rock and roots a safer choice.
Thank you, Bill. Up next, I want to welcome Robert Fleming, aka Lola Manilow, as I enact the screen share and pray for mercy. Here we go.
Good evening, I'm Lola. I'm waiting for my father, Barry, to leave the Copacabana, so I will inherit the Copacabana. Tonight, I will be sharing on an art series, which is a repetition of a subject with a variation. I've been very inspired by a series by Claude Monet about Rouen Cathedral, where he painted the cathedral at different times of the day and year so that the cathedral would have different lighting. My series variation is light filter and color. This is one of Monet's pictures of the Rouen Cathedral. And this is another one. And the third one, I think he did about 12. So here are 3 of them, all in different colors with different light. And this is the start of my first series. What I was attracted to about this picture is the center where there's light and it looks like there's a hole. So what I did is that I just isolated the hole and then I cropped that and then I removed the rest of the background. This was the result of that. And then I made the cloud image different colors. So here it is sort of grayish. And this is moving towards grayish blue. And here we have a filter called Heat Wave. Another one which is more purple. And then these are the 4 different comparisons. And I will stop there tonight and I will share other series during the next round. And again, I thank my inspiration, Claude Monet, for showing me how I could do a series in art with variations.
Thank you, Robert. We have up next Who do we have next? Boy, that's stupid of me. Of course, we have Mr. Ethan Mackler with a musical interlude. Go, Ethan, go. Thank God. I guess I'm the one who's going to finish the round. James and Jan are having issues with their computer. I'm assuming John's indisposed because even if John can't get on, he sends an email or a message letting me know it's happening. But we'll figure that out. Okay, so I'll do an old Crouton poem. This one's called Mapping Drama from June. Mapping drama. People in glass houses invite poor friends over, dare them to wreak havoc before you say how many times average rent their domicile costs to polish. Our biggest abusers come with tans glowing even without sun backdrop. Explain pain is customary. Always turn into ogre by Act 3. Musical numbers distract you from blood. Victims always die off screen, never see body through windshield. Elephant in room already mounted, even if crows come for latest Denmark before paintings and cutlery are saved. It's a journey you can relate to because we've all taken it. And other nonsense poems to come in round 2 and round 3. Let's go to round 2. 3 round robins. Can we do it? Let us go to we'll start with the Generalissimo again, Mr. Brian Franco.
Is 2 poems okay or just one?
Oh, two's fine.
Okay. So let's see what I got for you. Hold on. This is called what? Hold on. Okay. Why roller coasters need surge protectors? Every once in a while, I write a love poem about a past love. Read it over and over in silence till I read it aloud, which makes me both laugh and cry because all romances are like roller coasters. Or maybe log rides that splash water on me to dampen the adrenaline that surges through my being. From the lightest touch of a fingertip or the gentlest of kisses, but every touch and kiss can't last forever. And every love poem is about history, which retells memories. And remembering history reminds us roller coasters have long, creaky uphills and downhills that take our breath away. And if we survive the loop-de-loops, we experience dizziness that feels like the morning after drinking too much tequila. A love poem can feel like a down featherbed with satin sheets until I read it aloud, then it becomes a straw mattress on a dirt floor after being kidnapped by a Colombian drug gang, which reminds me a love poem can be a love poem and a hurt poem at the same time. And all roller coasters and log rides are rides we wait in long lines to experience, but must always come to an end. And poem 2 is, oh, I didn't pull up poem 2. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it here. Bear with me 1 second. Here it is. Properly here. Sorry. Why some
You
people
still there, sir? Oh, there
I'm
you
here.
go. There-
I'm sorry. I was
No worries.
scroll through something to get to it. Why
No
some
worries.
people smell like chicken wings. There's a reason I no longer eat chicken wings in public. I am a superiorly messy eater. Chicken wings are for people who don't require a bib to eat sloppy, saucy food. The same reason I avoid eating chicken wings is the same reason I regret every conversation I have with you. You are not those Korean chicken wings that magically have no greasy residue. You are not the fried chicken my mom used to bake in the oven with a cornflake crust. You are previously frozen skin-on battered wing, cooked in a commercial fryer that have to be drip drained of excess oil before being wrapped in paper towels, before being doused in a sticky sauce that comes in a half-gallon squeeze-top jug made with high fructose corn syrup and at least one artificial color. Like chicken wings, a conversation with you makes me feel like I need to call in a hazmat team to give me a shower like they make people who get exposed to nuclear waste take. You should watch the Oscar-winning film Silkwood with Meryl Streep and Cher to understand how people feel when exposed to your unique brand of one-upmanship that forms an oil slick rife with gaslighting, fake smiles, and know-it-allism. By the way, you're welcome. The end.
Nice. Let's go next to Mr. Bill Lewis. Yes, Bill Lewis.
When we said that Trump was Hitler, we didn't mean you should shoot him. We just meant that he deserves to be shot. And we're a little sad that Thomas missed. 1 inch to the left and re-election would be reassured. So close and yet so far. What to do? The evil orange Cheeto remains defiant, more defiant than before. Expletives didn't work. The threat of jail didn't work. Bullets aren't working. Perhaps a new meme will work. The giant Cheeto is too damn slick. Or actually, the opposite of slick. He's more like a steamroller. You can see him coming for so long. You have all the time in the world to prepare. And then he runs you over because steamrollers don't care. Sleepy Joe Biden's become squished Joe Biden. Trump with a wild, crazy, sex addicted nutcase who made $1 billion. How bad do you have to be to lose to Donald Trump? Have you heard this guy talk? He's wacko. To lose to Trump, you would have to do the most egregious sins against the country you could imagine. Import 10 million unskilled workers at $7.25 an hour. Or give debt relief to the richest college graduates in the world. Or leave the poorest Americans to die on the streets. That's what you would have to do to lose the election, Joe. Joe? Joe, are you listening? Joe?
Between your comments on Trump's assassination attempt and freaking Robert Fleming putting comments about dog wings and cat wings, I'm gonna have to start putting like a disclaimer. The opinions of the poets do not necessarily reflect Stone Soup Poetry or anyone who doesn't want to get canceled. Okay, let's go next to Mr. Robert Fleming, aka Lola Manilow.
Evening, I will be sharing another art series. This was the original photograph, which I took over the summer. What I liked about it is that the clouds are flat and long, which are supposed to be cirrus, which means the sky is supposed to be clear and cold. And the only thing I did to this picture was I ran it through background remover, ended up with this picture, and then I changed it to about 5 different colors and lighting. This is the first one, which is black and white. And this is like the original, which is blue and brownish. And here we have a little green and pinkish. And then this is all of them together. And I'll show 2 more. This is an original photograph I took also this summer. I didn't do any cropping or background removal. I just changed the color to pinkish and orange. And here are the 2 photographs. Thank you for letting me share my second series.
Thank you, Robert. And now, Ethan, ready to kick out the next jam for round 2. Round 3 coming up. Simple and to the point. All right, and up next, well, me, I guess. Let's see. Let's see what I have to share. I don't know what I was thinking with this one. Linda Carney Goodrich was the. Oh no, wait, this was from an all open mic. It was right before Linda Carney Goodrich featured. This one was a weird one. This one was published back in March. And the poem is called Who's Your Trinidad? The ones we loved and lost get ground into food, feed our romantic nostalgia for what never existed. Lizard brain breaks. Our teachers hung themselves by fridges with expired guacamole. They wanted to be under stone before this drive-in movie madness coming on grainy soundtrack, not even a map drawn in the dark. So no secret alphabet to learn. Fight for the last bits of green for your dandelion moonshine. Who remembers groups, molecules, old enough to barely recall roads, cooked food that stays around enough to be a leftover? Family unites singing in car to put off impending wave of violence, just old enough to outlive everything ever. Oh shit, did I mute my, did anyone hear anything of that or did I completely go crazy? Can anyone hear me?
It was, I heard it perfectly.
Okay,
Chad.
good. I was like I reflexively pressed mute on myself, then I just wondered, oh God, this is how tired I am. I wondered, oh my God, did I just do that?
Uh,
Okay, so
uh,
Ethan, so Bill's gone. We got one more round robin. If anyone wants to do it, we can go back to Brian Franco.
okay.
Okay, certainly. I'll just do some short stuff. We'll start. The first two are two brand new haiku. Give me a couple seconds. Let me take a drink real quick. A dandelion in full fluff never believes he'll be blown away. The next one, a dandelion in full fluff never believes he'll be blown away. Number two, when summer leaves us, autumn convinces the trees to drop all their leaves. When summer leaves us, autumn convinces the trees to drop all their leaves. And then I've got a few more right here. Bear with me. The first is called, has a title, The Futility Room. I spend so much time waiting, the time I don't spend waiting seems futile. And a haiku for slackers. To be skillfully lazy can take a whole lot of extra time and work. And actually, that I use in, I have a form called the Sloppy Poe, which is a sandwich poem, a longer poem sandwich between the same haiku, and I have a gun violence poem that's where I use that haiku. Excuse me. And the next two are Sankas. Sanka is another form that I invented. It's 6 lines, 3 to 9 syllables per line, and when you print it out, it must be centered. That is a rule. The art of agreeing to not disagree. I might agree with something I don't fully understand as long as I can understand that what I'm agreeing with isn't disagreeable. And the pinnacle of knowledge. If I knew anything worth knowing, I would know what I knew was truly worth knowing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fleming. If you have the time or the poem or what have you. You gotta
I'm-
unmute yourself.
Thank you.
There you go.
I'm preparing a submission for the second volume of American Graveyard, which is against gun violence. So this is my first piece, and I'll share it with you. It's a strikeout poem. Second Amendment. A militia being necessary to our homeland, the right of the people to have bullet-free bodies shall be a greater right than the right to bear arms. So that's where I am with that one. And I'll share a little bit of a series too. This was the original photograph. The only thing I did to it was I cropped some of the bottom. I cut out some of the plant, the bottom. And then this is the same photograph in black and white. Here it is in sort of cherry color. And this is more psychedelic. And this is psychedelic. This is called Heat Wave. This is one of my favorite lighting effects. And then these are the 4 photographs in the sequence. Thank you for letting me share my art series tonight and the start of my submission for American Graveyard.
And isn't the deadline for Devil's Party, isn't that coming up this Tuesday on October 1st?
I will check that. I think it is.
Yeah, so if you have a Christmas poem that's lying around, you want to submit it to to Instant Noodles. It's not Devil's Party, it's or is it Devil's Holiday? I forget the exact
No,
name, but
it's called Holiday Nudies.
gotcha. Holiday Nudies?
Yeah, Holiday Noodles. The theme
Oh,
is
noodles.
either funny things that go wrong around the holidays,
Like everything.
or noodles. And the deadline is October 15th, and I will put the link for the
Oh, 15th.
magazine.
Is there a length limit, and can it be previously published?
You're thinking about submitting a flash fiction or poetry?
Poetry.
For poetry, we do not have a stated limit for the number of lines.
Okay, so can it be a longer poem, a good long poem, or not?
Yes, I am not the poetry editor.
Okay.
So she will decide if she's willing to accept the piece.
Okay,
But we do have for flash fiction a word count limit of 750.
Awesome. I'll post something tomorrow to that effect as well. All right. So, Mr. Mackler, you're on. Thank you so much, Ethan. Glad you stuck around. You were very patient because the startup for tonight was a little crazy. Let's see. Uh God, we're getting closer and closer to the 1-year anniversary of Nancy Dodson passing. This is, I wrote this on February 21st after I found out she passed away. It was I think it was that reading where we found out that she had passed away. Nancy says, life, if you want, can be light. On lilacs, on bike paths to a city's poetry reliquary, a park to meet with family or a ball game, talks with friends over pointless lipstick before the living are myth, before now is yesterday. Life is forever before you fall asleep with your books and a house that's yours, knowing a little as little as the cows do about what goes on outside. Blood and war, and you hope there's enough water left to baptize you before you go away, just for a little while. I'm hoping next week Stone Soup comes back a little stronger. It's after the Boston Poetry Marathon. I hope some of you guys can tune in and listen, and because there's going to be a lot of people who have deep who have deep roots in poetry history in Boston. People like Jim Burley, Jim Dunn, people who've been part of the Northeastern crew, people who started the Boston Poetry Marathon and started Meanie Magazine and a bunch of other endeavors like Can We Have Our Ball Back and a whole bunch of early online journals like Petticoat Relaxer, a bunch of stuff. And the tradition carries on with the poets who will be there and the new selections. We do have some new entries to the Boston Poetry Marathon. It was tough to fit new people in for what's usually a 3-day event or a 2-day and one night event. Usually starts Friday night, continues on to Saturday, Sunday. But we did get a good number, so I hope you're able to make it there on at least to check the live stream, be it on YouTube or Facebook. And I hope you'll be able to see that. I am also hoping to have an announcement for the feature and hopefully they have Carol Weston back next week. That would be a wonderful thing, but we're taking it one step at a time and updates will come. So thank you guys very much. This brought the Sweet Stone Soup. Hopefully our friends Jan and James are having computer issues and couldn't make it. So hopefully they will be back next week. Much love to you guys and everyone who missed out. Ed Galt sent his regards. Richard Spizak, of all people, couldn't make it because he was doing a debate. He's doing a debate right now, a political debate with a conservative. So he's going to give him hell, and I hope they show video. But more of that will be discussed at another time. We'll definitely recap some things next Wednesday. And thank you guys very much for your patience. We'll talk to you soon. Show's over. See you next time. Thanks, guys.